Hi everyone, this is Amanita. So in this video I'm just wanted to do kind of like a flip through and talk a little bit about the Pholarchos Tarot, because this is a deck that I got about a month ago or two, and I've really been enjoying it because it is a lot different than like a standard tarot deck, and this is based on dreams, and I have an endless fascination about anything doing to do with dreams. If a deck kind of has dream in the name, I already want it. So at first when I saw this one, I didn't get it actually because I was kind of intimidated by it actually, like just seeing the images in this deck. By the way, these are not in order, but it has its own kind of system to it and everything. And in the guidebook, it's actually very poetic. If we go to any of the cards, I will be reading from the guidebook later in this video. And also, this video should be in 4K, so you can go to the settings if it's been processed. It does take a while to process sometimes, so you can watch the flip through in 4K. On the back, get this from Arnell Art. It's by Carmen Sorrenti. It says, "You plunge and surge onto a shore of deep belonging. Now you are vast. The waters of love dissolve your mold, yet passion is always glistening inside you, setting a course for life." So we're gonna flip through this deck. I don't have it in order, as I said, but I did want to just go through these cards and speak a little bit about the deck as we flip through. And I'll be making sure to flip over when they're reversed. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this right now. So the minor arcanas in this deck are much more like this style. This is the minor arcana. So as you can see, they're kind of a different style to them. These are the kind of images that are, with the minor arcana, it's more of like a very moment to moment changes, and the major arcana are known as more major events in our life, more long term, more impacting on us. And so these are kind of images that were just scribbled. Like I think I did watch a video and she said kind of like she let her inner child just go crazy and had to kind of fix it up, clean up the mess later. So these are kind of a more channeled style. I mean, it's definitely there's a lot going on actually in these images, whether you see it at first or not, because even like if you pay attention to what colors are used. But there's more than meets the eye. There's actually a lot packed into each image, is what I find when reading with these. I love this card. The moon, and you know, I've seen there's another card with the moon and it says I love you, and then this card, the moon, is saying I love you too right there. So the aces are in black and white, the full potential. This is a court card. I'm just kind of setting them in different places so you can see the difference between the art styles. Actually, I'll place the aces right there. I also love this card too. So there's like some poetry on the cards. Lots of animals. You see a lot of similar animals in this deck, like dragonflies and ravens wings, lots of birds. The suits are all renamed. The wings are the swords, and sparks is fire. Spirals is earth. This is the card I was talking about where the moon is saying I love you right there. So this is one of the 10. So you get in the ace the potential. He's blindfolded, not realized yet. And this is like the full manifestation. So it's a very alchemical deck, going from like the base, the uncontrolled, the unmanaged, it's the complete potential, like the prima materia, to the full manifestation of that element. So looking into alchemy will help you understand the deck more too. It uses astrology. But I wouldn't say it uses like a traditional meanings of astrology. Like for the Empress, we think of as Venus, and the Wheel of Fortune is like Jupiter. But in this deck, it uses astrology, but not in the same way that you would see like a Rider-Waite-Smith deck is based on. So this is a dreamer, and this is a page. And you'll see the trails, which are the nights soon, which I'll bring up. So here's the fullest manifestation of the fire. So you have the ace, and then you have the 10. Here is the Fool. Here is our blindfolded or hoodwinked of the swords, which is the mind, consciousness, and High Priestess, who is on the front of the deck. Lots of mythology as well that I see in these. Apprenticing infinity in the here and now. The love I feel for you is always love for you. Polish the diamond. So some of the cards do like say a little bit of stuff. You see a little scribbles in this card right here, which is kind of speaking of the alchemy and astrology. This is making that soul essence, the fire, the spirit. I did hear she's working on a guidebook as well. That should be released actually soon. Here's the Queen for the fire element, and the Queen for the air element. So the associations aren't traditional associations, but it has its own system to it, though. I do feel like they can be confusing if you're trying to read them like they're something that they're not. So you need to kind of take them for what they are and read them as they are, instead of pretend that they're a different system, because you won't understand them that way. So when you try to understand where the artist is coming from and what's going on with this deck, and not try to read it as Rider-Waite-Smith, you know, or like a Thoth or a Marseille. Oh yeah, I did want to talk about the trails. So as you can see, the trails are in black and white, as well as the aces, and the trails are like the knights, but they lead you into the journey. They lead you into the subconscious realm, into the dream realm, into the astral realm. So these are like your dream guides, and they each have like a medicine that they carry with them. Like I think he has woodworm is his, and for the fire element, I think she has cedar rose. For the air element, it's a raven. So yes, as I said, dreamers are pages, are the equivalent to pages, and the trails are the equivalent to the knights, and then there's queens and kings. And 6 is always the beauty, the harmony in the suit. She has a background in theater, so this would make a lot more sense if you knew about theater as well. She does incorporate all those into, you know, her work in theater and into her images. And this is the Justice card. Careful honing of winged thought. She hears what is far. And she is very objective. So here is the trail with the raven guide. And that beauty of the earth element, the harmony. The hermit, which is this in the card, you can see. This reminds me of the movie Nim's Island. I don't know if anyone has seen that. And I love this card too. You can find these on Etsy. This is the false manifestation of the water, lucid water. And it has the Pisces symbol on it. Here's our Hierophant. For what is in the guidebook, it is, I think it is pretty helpful to understand a few of the cards if you are confused about what's going on, what you're looking at. I always say to like ask yourself what the card means first before like referring to the guidebook right away. And here's the Ace of Coral, which is a suit of water. And of course you can always pause the video at any point if you're wanting to look at one of the cards for a longer period of time, or you can speed up the video. And yeah, more trails. And she has the glowing plankton as her guide. This reminds me, seeing this card, that I'm reminded that in some of the cards there's things mentioned in the guidebook that you don't see in the card. Because in this card I remember it being mentioned that she has a scorpion in her mouth, and that is not something that you would think, you know, that's not something that you're going to think when you look at this card, but there's certain things mentioned in the guidebook. So if you have kind of the lore behind it, I guess, you'll have even more to pull on in your interpretation if it comes up. This is the Magician. Very fluid imagery, very trance-like and very dreamy, fluid. It just feels kind of like the astral. It's definitely not a very solid. Probably very good for dream work. I haven't used it for dream work yet, actually, but this is the full manifestation of the air. And it says, the grand experiment for life, lucid air, too much mind, or that which is wide enough to invite all things, find a place at the table for each. So you go from that to its fullest manifestation in the 10, and here's the trail, who leads you on your journey into the realm of the mind. And this is the fully, the elixir. So I do want to take one of the cards and kind of read them, so let me shuffle these for you so you can also see how these cards shuffle. As for the cardstock, it's definitely not a bad cardstock. It's not flimsy. I wouldn't say, I don't have the perfect details for you to to tell you, but it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. And in terms of sizing, they are thicker than a regular tarot, a regular standard tarot card. As you can see, it's like that much more. They're about the same height. So let me know what you all think of the stuff too, because I'm curious to know what you all think of it, especially those of you who might not know much about alchemy or astrology, or maybe this this style that it's like for dreams. Maybe it's not familiar to you or comfortable to you, and it might feel challenging, or it might feel like intimidating, like it did to me. Like I saw the images and I didn't know if I'd be able to interpret them, and I love dreams, and it reads well for me. Okay, I'm pulling this card out. We're gonna read the 2 of spirals from the deck. Let me move this up so there. And as I said, the spirals are earth. So it says, every leaf is heard, every prayer. We weave stories together, make homes for our with clothes, for the star stuff of our bodies. Creativity invites beauty forth to express what shapes we're given. Juggle color, stripe, and coin, they will keep coming. To me, this is really telling us to be inclusive and to include everything in our experience, actually. And we see Taurus. I know that Mars is in Taurus right now as I record this video, squaring Venus, so I'm feeling like whistle while you work kind of thing. Like while you are focused on what you're wanting to do right now, make sure to enjoy at the same time. That